Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is June 18th, day before Juneteenth, which tomorrow market's closed. So today should be interesting. Big breakout yesterday. Had a trend day higher. Little weird start to the market. It was very mixed internally. Um, Tech actually wasn't like that strong, and semis were actually like weak. But then they gained ground, right? And then what I talked about last week and yesterday is, what did I say? All the media was talking about all weekend was how narrow the breadth was on this move higher, how narrow it was. Could it be sustained? And then yesterday it broadened out. So everything was pretty much green besides utilities yesterday. Broadened the rally out. So that's why the market moved up. And I also showed these charts yesterday to you guys before the market opened. I said, look at these charts. It don't look that bearish. I mean, financials pulled back, industrials pulled back. Um, those were a couple of movers yesterday. So, is it sustainable now? I don't know. But what happened is now the other sectors are getting money's going into the other sectors yesterday. So, this will sustain this until it doesn't. But now, since those other sectors got into play, you have a broader market rally yesterday. So, that's my 2 cents. Okay. Now we'll talk about structure because yesterday's structure is not the best. Okay. So let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile, define structure in the market, loan gap and exposure, level, supply and demand, anchor BWAPs, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me structure a plan. All right. And that's all what it's about, really. All right. Trading, finding your edge, and exploiting it. Okay. And in the beginning, I didn't even know what the heck edge was. I didn't know how to find it. I didn't know what I would know was my edge. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. How am I have an edge, right? So this is my edge. I look at the market in a certain way. It's my roadmap. Okay. It's how I look, how I see the market, right? And now the key to this, right, this mode map is knowing that there's probabilities. And the market's all about probabilities. I'm always a guy who does if then statements. If I see this, then I want to do this. If I see this, I want to do this. I'm open. I'm an open book. So I flow like water, right, with the markets. If the market proves me this, all right, then I want to do this, right? And that's how I look at the structure of market profile and volume profile. It just lays it out nicely. I don't have to study candlesticks, right? I can just look at my charts easy. Now, can I read a candlestick chart? Of course I can, but this just makes it easier. All right. I can see where the most traded price, the most people traded yesterday. You won't see that in candlesticks. Okay. So that's my little spiel there. So welcome to my channel. All right. If you're new, please subscribe, set an alert. All right. Also, if you do like my content, please give me a big thumbs up or like, whatever you like. Call that. And of course, you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right. So, what I want to do here is we're going to get right into the futures watch list. Now, I didn't mention this. 8:10 a.m. I do this every day. All right. It should be you get a cup of coffee, you come sit down with me, and I go over the markets. All right. So you don't have to. I tell you what's going on. I tell you why stocks are moving, why they're not moving, why they're down. Right? Economic calendar. We go over the daily charts. We go over the structure of the market. We go to scenarios at about 8:30. All right? That's what we do here. Now, let's look at the leader today. The dollar is the leader. I mean, it's not up that much, but it's up. Up 0.20. Nasdaq's still up 0.17. ES is flat. 10-year yield hasn't reported yet. Crude is flat. The Dow is down 0.04, basically flat. Gold, basically flat. 30-year bonds are selling a little bit. All right, that might not even affect the 10-year yield that much, but they're selling. Russell, remember the 10-year yield rose yesterday. That's important, even though the market rallied. So usually the Russell don't like that, but let's see. They're down 0.17. Silver's down 0.41. The VIX is down 0.47%. Bitcoin's pulling back, down 2.38%. Ether's down 4.08%. All right, let's move on to the Max 7 Plus. Nvidia, of course, is leading, 0.58. Snow up 0.56. Snow's been bottoming out. 131 is a key level. I want to see it sustain there, and I might throw something on Snow. Not a long-term investment, probably, because they're not profitable. However, I'm not a financial advisor. You do what you want. I might structure some kind of options trade on it. So Apple's up. They got an upgrade. Microsoft's up. All right, what else? Now, go into some laggards here. Let's get into the laggards. Tesla, we got Boeing, Meta's down 0.22, AMD down 0.25. AMD came whipping all the way down and got bought up. So that's very key. We're coming back now to the bottom of that balance area, about 157.5. Okay, balance rules. If you go down and you fail, or look below and fail, and you come back up, you should traverse to the other side of that range. So it's very important to see. It's just that the market made a big move yesterday, so did AMD, but AMD needs a lot of work to do. Okay, now it could have been a dip buy for people. All right, that's been lagging AMD. BABA's down 0.63. Coinbase with Bitcoin down is down 1.72%. Okay, moving on to top sector stocks. Qualcomm up 3.55%. That's the big winner this morning. All right, laggards. Let's get into here. Not much really. Exxon, Salesforce. Now Salesforce, bad earnings or whatever. The market didn't like the earnings, and then it took a went up, right? But now it's starting to fail. Okay. Who else is down here? Disney. Disney around that $100 mark, just chilling there. Don't know what's gonna happen there. Okay, don't know what's gonna happen there. Now let's go on to the swing trade list here. Let's see who's leading that. Micron up 2.93%. Dell's up 2.23%. Broadcom. Now they're doing a 10-for-1 split, so that stock's finally going to be tradable on July 15th. Supermicro Computers, Taiwan Semi. So the semis are still live and kicking here. Merck, Celsius is getting beaten down. Carnival Cruise Lines. All right, move on to laggards. I don't like that. Nextera. All right, utilities are pulling back. All right, they had a big run. They're pulling back. All right, I still think there's a good thing for utilities because I believe these rates are going to start to come back down. All right, once that happens, people will flood back into those utilities for the dividends. All right, GameStop up 2.97. Lennar up 2.62. Philip Morris up 2.6. Riot up 2.57. I'm sorry, these are not ups, these are downs. My apologies. Down 4.73. NEE. GameStop's down 3%. Lennar down 2.66. I believe they reported earnings. Philip Morris down. Riot, Mara. Here's all the Bitcoin related. Donald Trump. Soundhound. All right, that's about it there. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to sectors and see this is what moves the market. So let's see. Semis leading the pack, up 0.75. That's a risk on sign. Technology up. It's around 32% of the S&P 500 now. That is up 0.32, 0.33%. You have that up, market really is gonna have a hard time to go down. All right, lagging. There you go. There's the NEE. There's utilities. All right, people taking profits. All right, let's see what happens with that. All right, now let's move on. Let's move on to economic calendar. What's going on with the news? We do have retail sales come out at 8:30 a.m. All right, let's look at the calendar today. Now remember, we're off tomorrow. Today we got retail sales at 8:30. Is it a big market mover? Could be. Not really though. We have business inventories at 10 a.m. and we have Fed speak. Barkin, Collins, Kugler, Logan. That's a new one. Musalam, Fitzgoolsby. So, depending on what they say, right in the friggin' middle of the market open, this Barkin speaking. So, be cautious. All right, tomorrow we're off. Maybe there'll be trailing volume. Remember, we're in rollover week. All right, so that is that. Now, as far as upgrades and downgrades, let's see if this has been updated here. All right, we got updates here. Notables upgrades. Let's see if there's any. Not really. All right, let's see downgrades. For solar, got a downgrade. All right, let's see initiate coverage. Not really there. Anything to note about. Raises target price. Micron, there it is. Micron 130 to 170. Micron 140 to 165. That's why Micron's getting a lot of love today. Lowest target. Nothing to really talk about there. All right, let's talk about other stuff. Chegg's up 18%. Lennar dropped 2.7. GameStop stock fell 2.6. Since CEO Ryan Cohen told investors that the video game retailer plans to operate a smaller network of stores. Well, there you go. Tesla stock fell 0.4 after the electric car manufacturer initiated its battle for legal recognition of chief executive Elon Musk's massive 56 billion pay package. All right, then Apple scrapped its buy now pay later service. All right, Merck stock rose after they proved the drug maker's next generation vaccine to protect the adults against pneumococcal disease. But I don't know what that is. Lazy Boy stock rose 9.7% after the furniture manufacturer reported a robust finish. Boeing stock fell 0.4. I guess they're trying to get GE's aerospace CEO Larry Culp has declined the plane maker's request to consider taking over as chief executive. That's what's going on there. All right, let me see if I have anything else. I might. To see anything else to note, I'll real quickly pop this other news up here. Let's see here. Boeing I just talked about. Let's see, Berkshire Hathaway boosts stake in Occidental Petroleum. Oxy. Let's see here. I don't think there's going to be much more that I didn't talk about. So here's analyst recommendation here. Let's see here. Apple, JP Morgan raises target price from to 245 from 225. That's why Apple's getting love today. That's really all I want to talk about. That's all I want to talk about today. For that, let's move over to daily charts here. That was your economic calendar, okay? And your market news. Now, let's go over to daily charts. Daily charts, okay? Crude supply. All right. Now, basically, we had 3-day balance and we broke out of it. That's what happened yesterday. Where are we now? 547. Let's call it 20. 547.20. We're right above the close in the SPY right now. All right, let's look at futures. And right now, let's see what contract I want to look at. U24. Let me change this to U24. So I want to look at the next contract. Boom. All right. Here we are. There's those 3 days of balance, and boom, futures, boom. And now you're just chilling here. Chilling here. See if we can just hold. We're above last week's highs, okay? So let's see what we can do here. All right, let's move on to the Qs. Now, very interesting. I have this little channel top here, and look at the market. What it did, it stopped and had resistance at that channel. I kept it on my chart here, and pretty much, look at that. Pretty interesting, right? I'm not going to just base trades off that, but hey, you know, other people probably saw that. Took a little profit there at the top. But look at that. 2-day balance really broke out. All right, so where are we now? 46.13. 46.13. Yeah, a little above the close of yesterday. Let's look at futures. I'm going to change this contract. There we go. 2-day balance, boom, broke, and now we're holding here. See? Into the 20,000s. Jeez, this Nasdaq's nuts. It's nuts, I tell you. It's nuts. All right, let's move over to the triple-headed monster. We got to talk about that 10-year yield, which spiked yesterday while this rally happened. Very, very interesting. So this is our triple-headed monster we're going to talk about here. All right. Smart money here, bond market. Let's look at it. Now you look at the overall picture. That we were really high up in yields, and boom, and then we rose up, and now look, we're trending down. But we got a little bump up here yesterday. Now, can we come up to the 200-day and sell off? Yeah. Right? Just have to watch it. Okay? Now, dollar. Remember, we had that range. I still have it on my charts. There's that range. Okay? There's that range. We're holding above that range. Now, so that's interesting. Right? That's interesting. You're holding above that range. You could make a push up. Now that's not good for equity markets and not good for commodities. Okay, usually signals that you're having a weak euro and a weak yen. So there's the euro, right, trending a little down. All right, and now look at the yen, and that's trending lower. Those are the two biggest currencies against the dollar and the Dixie, the DXY. Okay. So if you those are whatever the yen and the euro are doing. If they're going down, that's going to push the dollar up. Okay, that's why that's happening. Look at that yen dropping. Okay, little tip for you there. All right, now the VIX. The VIX still doesn't have much fear. Okay, also we're in this area of like 12, 13, bouncing around. That's not a lot of fear, folks. It's just not. Got to get over 15. Okay. Got to get over 15. All right. That is a triple head monster. We can start getting into market structure. Okay. Market structure. And boy, do we have structure to talk about today. All right. We have structure to talk about. Let's bring this chart down. All right. Now you notice all those white boxes on my charts, right? Those, my friends, are single prints. That means single prints are one-way traffic. Okay? That means that in those single prints, there is emotional buying happening at those levels. Okay? And now that's market profile jargon. Is a market profile. Is part of the lingo, single prints. So why are they single, right? Because a market profile, let me just show you guys, give you a little lesson here. Here, I'm going to break out yesterday. Now when I break it out, all it is 30-minute bars. That's all the market profile is comprised of. It's 30-minute bars. Okay, so look at the move. Like this, you can see, look, single prints here, right? What that means is another 30-minute bar did not overlap this price action at all. So it's one-way traction. It's one-way move up. Look, another move up and then another move up. So basically the price never came back and tested this area ever again in the 30-minute bar. So that's poor structure. That's what it really is. Poor. Why? Because this is, folks, what I call a toothpick holding up an elephant. So here's your toothpick, and there's your elephant. Okay? So, now this is very important to note when I'm saying this. Okay? You look at it two ways. This is not good foundation. A toothpick holding up an elephant shouldn't last long. Right? So retail sales just came out. That's a large order hitting the tape. Market's pushing up. So a little volatility from retail sales. Okay, so back to the single prints. Okay, this is not good foundation. There's not a lot of good volume here. Okay, now this is how you look at this today. Now, what is bullish about yesterday is the most traded price was at near the highs. That is bullish. that means the market accepted the higher prices. Okay, that's bullish. Okay, however, because this market's pretty frothy, if this market cannot sustain value up here, okay, remember the most traded price of the week is down here. Oh, I'm on the friggin' NASDAQ chart. Doesn't matter. I'll go back to the ES. This is the NASDAQ. Doesn't matter. They both got single prints. Okay, same point. If the NASDAQ cannot bring the most traded price of the week higher up here, what are we going to do? We're going to return back to value. Okay, now for the single prints, all in this area, poor foundation, that's a toothpick holding up an elephant. If the market comes down and tests these single prints, okay, and the market is weak, people start taking profit, we should clean these single prints. They should get clean. That's what you call it, cleaning the single prints. Okay, now that's what should happen if the market is weak. Now, here's a tip. If you come down in here and start testing single prints and find support, that is very bullish because it shouldn't be supportive. Okay, that is your tip from your boy. All right, now let's move out to NASDAQ. I apologize for that. It doesn't matter. It's still the same lesson. We still have single prints in ES. So let's go to ES. Okay, make this bigger. Okay, so let's look at structure together. We talked about single prints. ES has single prints, not as many as the NASDAQ, but it does have single prints. Okay, now here's our profile. Had our balance area. We broke out with very thin volume. Now the most traded price of yesterday is right here, and we're trying to build volume here, and value. Okay, value still down here. Okay, so we are inside, and also the ES most traded price is up here. That's bullish. That is bullish, and we haven't touched the single prints. It's all bullish. Okay, all bullish. Now you notice the top of this market here doesn't really have great excess, so I believe this is susceptible to get corrected or get broken. Doesn't mean I think we're just going to take off today and just go all-time highs straight up again. I'm not saying that, but poor structure at the top of this. Okay, and from here I would call this kind of like a spike, this area. And guess what the market's doing? Accepting prices. Now it's pulling back now. Okay, but it's still accepted these prices higher. Like I said, if it can't move the most traded price of the week, which is 55.01, if it can't move that higher, yeah, you're probably going to test this area again. But that's yet to be seen. The bulls are in control, folks. Don't be fooled. And I've been there before when I'm like, I gotta fade this. I gotta short this. This is too much. This doesn't make sense. Forget all that. That doesn't matter. The headline says this. Doesn't matter. Price action rules. Okay? Those price action rules. Now, here's our key levels today. 55.25 is a 50% retracement. That also lines up with the beginning of the single prints. Of these single prints, okay? Got week to day VWAP right here as well. So that's the 50%. Bulls need to defend that. Okay? Now, the other part here is this overnight low and these single prints right here. That's the first line of defense for the bulls. Okay? Now, we have a little baby session in the overnight. We are accepting prices at the most traded price of yesterday, bullish. There's not a lot of edge in this. It just means it's telling us the market's accepting the higher prices. Okay, it is bullish. It is bullish. Okay. Now, on the other side of that, if this is the most traded price of yesterday, right, and you have poor structure below, I want to make everybody understand this. Look at this market from here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. And then the market opened, took out the overnight lows, and then ripped. So if all these people here were long, they're getting paid. Then boom, you got all market all the way up to here, right? And if you know everybody probably went long, most people here, and you have weak foundation, what happens if we break this, break those singles, and the market gets super weak? What do you think is going to happen to these single prints? Cleaned city right to here, right? But I just talked about that's what should happen in a weak market. But if it doesn't, and you get support here, or you get support here, it's bullish, okay? All right. Basically gave you the scenarios already. Okay, basically gave you the scenarios. All right, so price action was weird yesterday too, because you could tell the rollovers happening. It's just weird. The market was moving very weird. Now let's get into scenarios. You can start wrapping this up here. All right, we got to talk about the bull first because the bulls are in control. What did I say? Here's your first defense. This area, overnight lows to the single prints here. All right, right there. What's the price? 55.34. Overnight low 55.41 to 55.34. That's your first bull defense line. All right. Second, you got your 50% retracement and your week to day VWAP here, and the start of these singles. That's your next defense. Okay. So, if you're a bull, all right, what you want to see. Okay, there's supply right here. So let's just say we push up, try to break overnight highs, maybe we fail. Come through the most traded price of yesterday, right? And the overnight for the same. Get weakness. This could be a little bear trap, people think. Uh-oh. And let's say these singles hold, higher low, higher low. Well, folks, we're probably going to break yesterday's highs. Right here. Now, second, let's say we do this and we cut through these. Okay? Oh my God. Bear market. Nope. You have week to day VWAP here. You have the 50% retracement of yesterday. And you got singles. If these singles start to hold, higher low, guess what's going to happen? Whoop. Going to go right up to yesterday's most traded price. Probably do a little pause here. If you hold value, you could probably test yesterday's highs. That's all I'd be interested in. Okay? Because once you take out these singles, could still go back up, but then it's like, not sure. Don't get me wrong, there's a demand here. You could dip real quick and go up. That's bull. Bear, I talked about it before. Okay? A couple things I'd like to see. All right? Now remember, all-time highs, hard to fade, but you really got to be patient. Now, like I say, poor structure below us. That's a win for the bears. Okay? You know people are all trading up here in this 55.45 level. Most traded price yesterday, most traded price of the overnight. People are agreeing on this price. Mostly longs. You know people are in profit from down here. All right? Think about it. People are really liking those profits. All right? So, I could see one scenario doing this. All right, we get a little move up. Maybe just tip the overnight highs, come through the open, lower high, lower high. I would say we land here, most traded price. You usually don't cut through that like butter. All right, so let's say we get a little push through, hold. If you get weakness, you are going to rip through those single prints, and now you're going to test the 50% retracement in the week-to-day VWAP. This is what I talked about before. In bullish scenario, you get support, but in the bear scenario, in the market's weak, guess what you're doing? You might get like in here and go wham, right down to here, take out that demand and rip right back down to the most traded price of the week. Okay. Now, one other thing I could note, because there's poor structure here, I could also see this market going whoop, 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 and this be a little bit bull trap. You go wham, correct this structure here. Then you come through and get lower highs, in the same scenario can play out. Market's frothy. However, the one caveat that I see is the rally broadened out yesterday. Money flowed into staples, into industrials, into financials, into discretionary. So that's new money bought them yesterday. So that's where it makes me pause on shorts. But could it happen? Yes, it could. Okay, it could happen. All right, let's go to NASDAQ. Let's go to that NASDAQ. All right, so we talked about the structure. It's the same as the ES. It broke out. Bunch of single prints below. Okay, most traded price at the highs. All right, now here is a little better nugget in the NASDAQ. Okay, bigger range. Opened here. This is all the long activity to this short activity. This is about 90% net long in the overnight. I don't like that it's here because that means some longs have already covered. I'd rather have price up here. So this is important if the price is here. Now, key levels. Let's talk about it. You have a weak high here now, a confluence high, right? You have overnight highs and the real-time highs together. That is a resistance or a breakout point. Okay? That is a resistance or a breakout point. Now, you have the settlement really close to the overnight high. That's the close. This is the area here that could cause, these can be support resistance or they get broken. This is the key in NASDAQ, okay? This is very key. You got poor structure below. That's single prints. Now, your midpoint of yesterday, 50% retracement, is 20,088, right there. It lines right up with the week-to-date VWAP. Okay, that's a level to watch. That's where bulls got to step in. Okay, you have single prints right there. Right after this, underneath this overnight low, you have single prints. Okay, so stage is set. All right, so really you want to look for the overnight low to be tested and this overnight high to be tested. And guess what, folks? 97% of the time, every real-time trading hours, 9:30 to 4:15 in the futures, you're pretty much guaranteed to hit one of those. Right? All inside this range, I would think would be chop fest. Okay? So let's just go right in the scenario. Right into the scenarios. Let's talk about it. I don't know who's with me this morning. Or maybe no one's with me. That doesn't matter. It's part of my process. Hopefully people understand this. If you don't, just ask me questions. You could even ask me questions live right now, if there's anybody out there. But I don't know. Hopefully you are. If you're not, it's recorded. So let's get into it. All right. So bull. If we're talking bulls, because the bulls are in control, you want to see this area be defended by the bulls. Overnight low settlement from yesterday. Okay. If you're a bull, you also want to see that 50% retracement in the top of these single prints right here be supportive in the weekly day VWAP. So if you take this out, yes, there's demand here and you can pop up. I do not love longs. So what I'd like to see is this, a push up into the supply. Maybe you tap the weak high and you do one of these, boop, and you come back in, lower high, lower high. Guess what? Most traded price of yesterday. If you rip down and you hold it, we're testing overnight lows. Okay, what happens here? If you get support in single prints like this, whoop, you are going up and going to go higher, most likely. You might even just do one of these and come back down and balance. Okay. Other scenario. All right, let's say you rip down, but you again get support here. Same thing. Okay, that's all I'm interested in there. Bear, we talked about the weak high. Sellers need to defend that weak high. Okay, we talked about we're pretty much close to 90% net long in the overnight. Look who's getting paid here, folks. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This little baby got taken out, but I wouldn't count that much. You're long from here. All these people earn profit. And they're 90% of this session is long. All right, you're begging with these single prints to just crush them and come right back. Like I said, I don't know. Okay, I don't know, especially semi is leading the pack right now. Okay, however, we got to talk about it. Seller's defense right there. All right. Now, this is what I would love to see. Push up. Boom. New all-time highs. All right. Reject it. Lower high, lower high. Come through that most traded prices yesterday. Hold, hold, hold. We're going to test those overnight lows. All right. If you have weakness in this market and it's weak internally, you're going to rip down to this week-to-date VWAP. 50% retracement of yesterday. You should get a little pop here. If there's still stays here and holds, you're going to rip down on these single prints. And then you got a little bit of a demand here. You could get a pop. You break that, guess what you're doing? Ripping those singles. And this is a big demand zone. However, if there's a lot of weakness, you're going right back to value. Do I see this as probable? Yes, if that happens. But I just said now this is NASDAQ, so this is different. NQ100 doesn't have it's not multifaceted like the S&P 500. It's mainly tech. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay. Now, this is the ultimate fall. Can you just get this? Yup. Can you just get this move? Yup. So it doesn't. That's just if the chains come happen. That's still a nice move if you did this and you caught this move. That would still be a very nice move. All right, everybody. That is going to be it for me today. All right. Wish everybody good luck. Have a great day. And tomorrow we're off, so I'll see everybody Thursday.